So Jim Harbaugh's a Charger. Okay, so we know the Chargers was kind of the go-to destination for Harbaugh. Bryce's best 10. We're gonna postpone that for just a second. Okay, so I did not see that coming. So quick reaction: Harbaugh's won everywhere he's gone. Won at San Diego, won at Stanford, won at San Francisco at the 49ers. He's won at Michigan. He's won everywhere. And by the way, all 4 situations, I don't know about San Diego. I don't know enough about that to say. But those other 3, Stanford, disaster. Took it over, were great immediately. Niners, awful. Took it over, great immediately. Michigan, awful. Took it over, great immediately. In college, that's much harder because you got to get your recruiting classes. Like NFL, if you can ace a draft, get some free agents in, if you've got the quarterback. The Chargers is not in terms of football standpoint, in terms of the production, the results, they're not a bad job. They're not the Carolina Panthers or something, but they're far from they're not exactly the San Francisco 49ers. Now, in terms of talent, not that far off from San Francisco or any talented team. You'll throw out Baltimore, Kansas City, Detroit, any of the teams playing this weekend. LA's not far off. This was the most attractive job. Why? Because among the teams that were hiring head coaches, LA had the best quarterback, Justin Herbert. So anytime you have a certified great quarterback, you're going to have interest from head coaches out there. And so now for the first time, Jim takes over a job that is the cap situation, as far as I know, is pretty good. Obviously, Herbert, he's got his money, but this organization has tended to draft well. I didn't like that they fired Tom Telesco personally, but they moved on. We'll see how they do in the draft moving forward. They've got Joey Bosa. They got Khalil Mack, Derwin James, offensively Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, if he could stay healthy, if they bring back Austin Eckler, that's a darn good football team. And that's, by the way, LA is going to have to continue to go against Mahomes year in and year out, year in and year out. You're going to need an all-star level coach because when it was Brandon Staley versus Andy Reid, that's not even fair. Listen, Herbert's not Mahomes. That goes without saying, but he's capable. He's beat Mahomes a few times. He's capable of going toe-to-toe with Patrick. Reid and Staley, it's kind of still, I mean, the freaking Raiders put 63 on the Chargers when Brandon Staley was there. So Harbaugh, props to him, man. He takes over a great job. Left with a national title at Michigan. This is, okay, that's perfect. This is perfect. John Rivera, my man in the comments, Fan Perspective Podcast, is great match. Better place than Minnesota, where he almost went to. Yeah, I remember a couple years ago he almost went to Minnesota. It's a way better situation. Nothing against Kirk Cousins, but he's not Justin Herbert. And he says, happy for him, Michigan almost let him go 2 years ago. That's right, they did. Or almost did, rather. He gets the championship there, builds a winning program there, winning culture. You got the NCAA stuff sort of looming over him right now, but I think this is and by the way, I had sort of suspected over the last 24 hours that he was probably going to get the job. There was a report earlier today by Schefter because I want to give him credit, that Harbaugh was going to interview with the Falcons today, and the interview got put off. It got canceled. So that told me, okay, he's going to take the Chargers job. Like I believe they interviewed Vrabel. I think they interviewed Belichick. Like, again, because we talk about this is the most loaded head coaching market maybe of our lifetimes. You got Belichick, you got Vrabel, you got Harbaugh, maybe Pete Carroll, you got Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald with the Ravens. The kid in Houston, Slovis, I think he still needs a little bit of time to grow, but still he'll be a head coach someday in the future. So this is a phenomenal hire by the Chargers. This is my man Ryan Flowers. He's the first I ever heard say it. Others have said it. Ryan Flowers, host of Clutch Sports Talk here in the Grid. Be sure to check that out. Ryan has a saying he uses all the time. Anytime the Chargers hype comes in September, Labor Day before the season, the Chargers are going to be contenders. And he always says, Chargers going to be the Chargers. Like the Cowboys have a reputation of gagging in big games. That's more relegated for the playoffs. I mean, listen, every team's going to blow games. I'm sure Dallas, off the top of my head, what's a game that they absolutely just blew? Probably the Philadelphia game in Philadelphia. Dallas kind of blew that at the end. But every time, for crying out loud, Baltimore had 3 losses this season where they led at the 2-minute warning. Like every team blows a few games a year. What the Chargers do is unlike anything I've ever seen. They literally invent new ways to lose every other week. Whether it's coaching, whether it's fluky plays, whether it's your I remember 2020, their defense would have great halves, so would their offense, and then they would just go kaput in the second half. That was Herbert's rookie year. And it's so Harbaugh's going to come in. He's going to fix that. He's going to have them ready to go situationally. This is a massive hire. This is a great hire by the Chargers. And thank you very much, Mike Guido, for letting me know. Listen, when I hear my phone going off during segments, I tend to kind of check it at times, but I heard my phone go off a couple times. I didn't know that it was Harbaugh to the Chargers, but I'll say this. The Schefter tweet where it said that he had canceled the interview with Atlanta kind of told me that he was probably going to take the job. And I would say the Chargers are back, but they've never been. They had that run in the 80s with I'm forgetting the quarterback's name. I'm blanking right now. Not Vinny Testaverde. It's on the tip of my. Who is the quarterback who had the beard? He went into broadcasting. I don't think he's still broadcasting more with CBS. What is his name? Somebody in the comments help me out. I'm blanking. Oh my gosh, what is his? He put big numbers. Obviously, they have Phillip Rivers there. Drew Brees before that. So they have a history of really good to great quarterback play. It's driving me crazy. Now I have to Google it. This is bothering me. I'm going to just go search on Google. Great. This is live Googling on Carving It Up here. Great Chargers quarterbacks. Dan Fouts. That's who it was. I knew. I was like, the name's on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't remember. Dan Fouts. Yeah. So they had that run with Dan Fouts in like the 80s. And they always underachieved in the playoffs, could never play in cold weather. Then they had Breeze before his shoulder went out. Then they had Phillip Rivers, got to some conference title games, but never were able to get over the hump, and then went through some years of being good, not great. Now they have Herbert, who's this ultra talent, but they continually underachieve in large part due to coaching. Listen, if Chargers underachieve, it ain't gonna be because of Jim Harbaugh. I'll tell you that right now. But it goes to show you, listen, the NFL, when you get an A+ coach and an A+ quarterback, you saw what Houston did, by the way, with a bad team. Houston was a bad football team last year. Got the coach right, D'Amico Ryans, quarterback right, CJ Stroud. Houston Texans were among the final four in the stacked AFC. Think about that. Got those two, and hit on other draft picks, obviously. And D'Amico put together a good staff, but hit on those two. Houston was a win away from the conference title game. So now you have a quarterback we already know is great, Justin Herbert. We have 4 years of evidence. A coach we know is great. He's great in college, great in the NFL, and that's a very select class, like only Pete Carroll and Jimmy Johnson. Maybe I'm missing somebody, but like Urban Meyer was a disaster in the NFL. Lane Kiffin, terrible in the league. Nick Saban, the greatest college coach ever, horrible in the NFL. Jim Harbaugh's one of the select few that can say, he was good. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.